So not only does Mamata Banerjee refuse to act against Tapas, but that empty chair is proof that she has also blocked any spokesperson from coming on Times Now. And clearly we have been told that we don't need to be pushing this story. In their view, this story is not worth the kind of attention we are giving it. We have a different view. The BJP is on the Newshour tonight. The BJP chief minister in Goa has joked about rape. And also with us today, Sambit Patra of the BJP, of course, Sanjay Jha of the Congress, Rita Brata of the CPI-M, Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha, Ravidas Mehrotra of the Samajwadi Party is joining us from Lucknow, a party well known for its chauvinistic, sexist and misogynistic statements. Aryaman Sundaram, senior advocate of the Supreme Court. Advaita Kala with me here in the studio is a very well known author and writer. Advaita, thanks for coming. Malavika Rajkotia, senior advocate, and Ranjana Kumari will join us in some time. So there are no questions to ask the Trinamool Congress. But Advaita, if there was Derek O'Brien sitting in that chair and not running away from the studio, what is the question which you would ask him on his refusal to act against Tapas?
I would just ask him that in good conscience, can a man like this be in Parliament?
Why do you think he is being allowed to be in Parliament? Why do you think Mamata Banerjee is not doing anything?
Because I think the public discourse to a certain extent has become about shaming women, you know, to look at it in a larger context. And there have been too many instances where politicians have gotten away with statements like this, which makes it all right. And that is a problem in itself.
So you genuinely think that there is a view here, I want to get Malavika also at this, that there is a view that, you know, what is the big deal? Because I get that kind of response today when I speak to people from the Trinamool Congress, from the Samajwadi Party, from the Congress, from the SP. They simply say, Aryaman Sundaram, let me put that to you because I'm losing the line with Malavika there. They simply seem to have a response saying, what's the big deal? Why are you making this a big issue? Some politicians even say that, oh, by the way, you're making it a big issue because you want ratings. They don't seem to understand the sense of revulsion that all of us feel. Why is there a disconnect, Mr. Sundaram?
Two things. Number one, if you are a political leader or a politician, or if you're a person in the public firmament, you have to conduct yourself with far more circumspection than a person who is a wholly private person is. And that seems to be lost completely. Secondly, the nature of the comments and things which are being said, I don't think even a private human being would say, a private person would say. And that makes it especially sad that this is the governing, ruling class of people.
Yeah.
What really concerns me more than anything else is not just this isolated comment in itself. It is the entire manner of his speaking, which is really an incitement to violence. The entire speaking was an incitement to people to commit crimes.
Gee.
Now, according to me, that in itself is a crime.
Yeah.
The very fact that he singles out women only shows the caliber of the man.
Yeah.
But from a different aspect, it also shows how little he cares for the law and how simple it is for him to incite people to violence. Now, I ask myself one question. If one person who he was addressing got carried away by it and actually did so, he would be an abetment to the abettor to the crime. And this is a very shocking thing for a politician to do.
But what's different from
not just a politician? Here's a man who's an elected member of parliament.
No, it's the same thing which Mulayam Singh Yadav also did, didn't he? It's the same thing the BJP has done today.
Very similar.
Because when the BJP, by the way, this is the Chief Minister of BJP, you know, Goa's comment. I'd like to read it out to you. Have you heard of what he said? Sambit Patra?
I was just hearing it while you were playing it right now.
Okay, so I'll play it again if you want.
No, I don't want it.
You want it? You want to see it? I think I should play it.
You are going to read that at least 1,000 times now, so I'll get to know from you.
No, I think you need to see it one more time.
You can show it, your wish.
Well, even if it embarrasses you,
No, not at all. He's one of the best chief ministers of the country.
Because after that, I'd like to see the expression on your face while you're seeing this. I don't care what he says.
Before you play this out.
This is what Manohar Parrikar has said. Watch it clearly.
Yeah.
Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabadचो प्रोफेसर ताणे म्हाका सांगलेलें की ना एका जाग्यार आपूण लेक्चराक गेल्लो लेक्चर जातकच उबो रावलो एक भुरगो तूं आमकां एंटरप्रेन्योर जा म्हणून सांगता If I rape, I face only one inspector. If I start small scale industry, there are 26 inspectors.
Translate that for me.
I think he spoke in English the last
What did
part.
he say?
No. See.
No, what did he say?
I understood what he said. You also understood what he
I
said.
want to know from you. I want to know from you.
I have a very different
I
take as
want
to
to
what
know
he
from
said.
you.
First and
I
foremost,
want to know.
the
Don't
nation
raise-
knows
No,
that
no.
he's one of the best chief ministers that the country has ever seen.
Don't give
Secondly,
me that.
I'm not giving you anything. The nation knows that.
No, I don't tell me
Secondly
what-
and most
you will not answer
secondly
the
and
question.
most importantly,
You will not answer the
dare
question.
not
Will
compare
you not ask the
Tapas
question?
Pal with Goa's chief minister.
Don't tell me what I should dare or dare not to.
with the Goa chief
Don't
minister.
tell me.
No.
Don't tell me.
No.
First of all,
please do not compare.
First of all,
Please do not compare Tapas Pal. I take
stop
objection
wagging
to
the
this.
finger at me.
No,
One second.
I am not pointing my finger towards
One second.
Arnab.
One second.
I am only saying
First of all,
that you
you're
need not
hearing
know.
this.
You
I'm
need
saying
not
something.
compare. I take objection.
I'm saying something.
I take objection when you compare the chief minister
Now-
of Goa, one of the most functional chief
Now, have you
ministers
finished
of the
your
country.
little
No, I
speech?
have not spoken.
Have
but
you
should
finished
not
your
compare
speech?
him with Tapas Pal.
I see two fingers wagging at me and I don't like it.
Tapas Pal was threatening to rape, to murder, to bomb, to butcher, to kill. Here is a chief minister who has performed. His concern was small-scale industries in Goa should go up. Probably bringing in rape might not have been good, but he was serious when he spoke about that.
I can.
No,
I
understand your
can.
concern.
No. One minute. Sambit,
Even I am concerned,
first of all, the
but
time
please.
is up and you should now stop because I'm telling you. Two things I have to tell you. Don't wag your finger at me when you're speaking.
Not at all. You
Don't-
can wag your fingers
no,
at everyone.
no,
I cannot
no.
wag.
I can ask questions.
I was not
Firstly,
wagging my
don't wag
finger
your
at
finger.
Arnab Goswami.
The second-
This is
I
the
saw
way,
it.
the
Thank you.
gesture I speak.
Fine. So anyway, I made that point to you
Yes.
because I'm sitting before you and you're wagging your finger at me. Secondly, don't try and deflect the question. When you deflect the question,
no, I'm
the
speaking
question
on
is this:
topic.
Rita Brata wanted to come in. How can Manohar Parrikar, who holds an esteemed position of chief minister of a state, stoop to that level?
To what level did he speak?
Stooped and let others come in. Don't ask me counter questions here. Stoop to that level of saying that a boy asks a question. The boy says if he has to rape someone, he faces one inspector. Rita Brata, where's the translation? Maybe you should illuminate Sambit Patra. When you rape someone, you face one inspector. When you start a small-scale industry, you face 26 inspectors. Rape accused faces one inspector, industrialist faces 26 inspector. This is, you make a serious subject and a crime like rape and let him speak now.
The analogy,
a crime like rape, you make it into a mere anecdote.
The analogy might have been wrong. The analogy might have been wrong.
You should apologize.
Not at all.
I'm now asking,
He was the best chief minister of the country.
He may be the best chief minister.
Don't malign the best chief minister of the country.
If I also agree that Manohar Parrikar happens to be the best chief minister, this is a gender insensitive statement to his highest. Is the highest gender insensitive statement. He cannot do this. It has to be condemned.
The analogy might have been wrong.
Publicly.
Analogy might have been wrong.
This is
but
a
his
dangerous
concern was
analogy.
industry. No, I
women
agree.
are not second-class citizens. For half the earth and half the sky, we shall fight.
Did you see the seriousness in his face when he was speaking? No.
Why are you
You are not trying to understand. You are not trying to understand the issue. Even I understood what he was speaking. He was only. I am not supporting it. But remember, no. Empty shoutings do not make a debate.
It's a gender
No.
insensitive
Sambit, I have one question.
Go to Tapan.
One second.
Go to
Sambit, listen here.
Tapan. Go to Tapas. Tapas Da. Whatever his name is.
Can you,
But
1
this is
minute,
also
Rita
a
Brata, 1
gender
minute.
statement.
Did Rita Brata interrupt you when you were speaking? Yes or no?
Or no, you interrupt me whenever I am speaking.
No,
and
so
today I
he
cannot
let you finish,
when you're
right?
maligning my chief
very
minister,
often find
I am
that-
supposed to take all the brickbats, false brickbats. No, I'm not going to take that.
Well, you know, Aryaman Sundaram and Malavika Rajkotia, I'd like to get you in. Malavika Rajkotia, you know, even if Parrikar was narrating an anecdote, I think he should have shown better judgment than make it a joke about rape. And if a chief minister has no other comparison to draw than by comparing it 1 minute to rape, and if you're going to use an act of sexual violence of the worst and beastly kind to make a comparison and talk about how small-scale industries should or should not be encouraged in a state, I think it reflects a really sick mindset. And let's be fair, don't put any politician on a pedestal. Manohar Parrikar may be any, God for you. As far as I'm concerned, he's just another politician.
No,
Please
he's
let
not
others
just
speak
another
now.
politician.
Malavika Rajkotia responding to you. Listen to the others.
He is our elected prime
So
minister.
what?
You want me to
So is
speak?
Mamata Banerjee and
No,
we'll criticize
definitely.
her.
You have the right to
Malavika
debate
Rajkot,
on him, but don't falsely malign him.
I'm putting the question out today and I'm going to open up phone lines right now. My question is, can any political party and any politician use a
Arnab,
mandate
do you
and
want
go it
me
back
to
the
speak
people
or not?
and say, we got a mandate, don't question us therefore. Malavika is responding to you and have the patience to listen. Malavika.
Right. Politicians like this are apart from the obvious situation of trivializing such a serious matter as rape, what is also of great concern is that it is the politicians who create the disconnect between society in general and law and the rule of law by expressing their absolute contemptuous disregard for it. And very frankly, there are two issues here, as Aryaman said. One is with regard to anarchy and these kind of statements and politicians contributing to creating an anarchy, which is a criminal offence under the Indian Penal Code. To incite to violence is 3 years, punishable by 3 years under the Indian Penal Code. And with regard to raping a woman of the sort of statements that have been made, it is as much as 7 years. Nobody is talking about any of that. And very frankly, what adds to the horror of the situation is the kind of debate that is done then on television, where party spokesmen speak nonsensical perspectives only to defend the indefensible. And nobody has the courage to say that, yes, a line has to be drawn. That's one thing. Now, that is the obvious part. The deeper part is that in any violence, women and children are inevitably the most vulnerable because they are treated as property of the enemy. So, between communities, between classes, when there are clashes of this nature, instead of looting and pillaging, rape is part of, because it is spoiling, removing property. That's the deeper feminist perspective. Lastly,
it is basically absolutely it is being used.
Someone like
it is being used as the
Banerjee
ultimate act of oppression.
Has such crude.
And I'm shocked at Mamata Banerjee, Malavika. I'm shocked at Mamata Banerjee carrying this type of hurt around. 1 minute.
No, just a minute.
Sanjay Jha, I'll get you in and then we'll open this up. And I'm going to go to Ravidas Mehra. Sanjay Jha, Congress is no different. You took no action against Vailar Ravi. You took no action against Sri Prakash Jaiswal. What action did you take against Shantaram Nayak, who said that while rape is the most heinous crime, the alleged rape of a lady who moves with strangers for days together, even beyond the middle of the night, is to be treated on a different footing? You didn't take any action against that man either. Now it's going to become habit for you, Sanjay, to take this opportunity to lunge at the other side. What I want to expose tonight is the hypocrisy of all of you. Every single political party which has allowed this to happen. Show me one instance where you took action against somebody who made this kind of a comment, Sanjay. Show me one instance.
Well, Arnab, I want to tell you on today's topic, the remarks that were made yesterday by the TMC, some of the congressmen you have referred to before, Manohar Parrikar, apparently the best model chief minister of the BJP. All remarks are repugnant, they're disgusting and they're reprehensible, and I don't care for who is from which political party, including mine.
When Sanjay Nirupam
statements that need to be condemned, and parties must take action against them.
CDs in the racks. Please close your dictionaries of all those beautiful words that you come out with. Don't teach us.
Well, Sambit.
No,
Sambit, I think you're reducing this debate to a very pedestrian level.
I have forgotten your acts. I only remember your CDs. Ample CDs are available. Everyone knows. I don't want to mention the names.
Rape is escalating in India at an exponential rate. And you already have somebody in your cabinet. You already have somebody in your cabinet.
Because I think Sanjay Jha heard you there. And in case it's a bad tactic, I think it's about as bad a tactic as boycotting a
compare the Chief Minister of Goa with Tapan Das or Tapan Pal, then this is what I'm
now listen, please, let him complete. Sanjay, what action did you take against Sanjay Nirupam, who said Smriti Irani is a Thumke Wali? What action did you take against Rita Bahuguna Joshi? No, what action did you take against Sanjay Nirupam, who made that derogatory comment on Smriti Irani? What action did you take against Shantaram Nayak? What action did you take against Sri Prakash Jaiswal?
Can I suggest
tell me what action you took.
Can I suggest something here? I think it's important Well, we did not take any action, and I'm going to suggest something to you, that political parties need to have a consensus and a code of conduct which should have similar action on anybody from their party who contravenes a certain standard of behavior.
Don't talk about an all-party consensus, Advaita. I think that's the most hollow proposal I've heard in a very long time.
Behavior.
I think it's
it is his party.
It's the most hollow thing I've heard in a long time. Malvika is responding. Advaita, feel free. We are into open debate now. Advaita is responding to you. Advaita, go ahead.
I think essentially,
Sanjay, there's nothing called an all-party consensus. You have an all-party conspiracy going on now to continue to let this happen. Yes, please, Advaita.
Why is there even a consensus required for common decency in public discourse? I can't believe that this is going to be a debate about what is right about saying certain things and what is wrong about saying certain things. The public discourse is sexist, politics is sexist. You have women in politics in power who behave just like men when they're faced with these circumstances. If you look at the way Mamata Banerjee is responding to this, to Park Street rape earlier on, I mean, how has her reaction been any different from the way the men have reacted? So there is a problem with the politics in this country and the politicians of this country who do not understand that women, if you look at the general elections of 2014, the gender gap in voter turnout is 1.46%. We form a major part of the electorate. When are we going to have a voice? When are the things that really matter to us or offend us going to find space?
It's not an agenda item, and I think, for all the screaming and shouting that people like Sambit Patra want to do on it, the fact is that there is absolutely, it's not even an agenda item. And listen to others. What Naresh Agarwal, for example, said. My question is to Ravidas Mehrotra, and feel free to come into the debate when open. Ravidas Mehrotra ji, मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि नरेश अग्रवाल आपके पार्टी के लीडर, उन्होंने कहा कि जबरदस्ती नहीं ले जा सकता कोई जानवर को भी आजकल, ये रेप के केस के संदर्भ में कहा, उनके खिलाफ क्या एक्शन लिया आपने? मुलायम सिंह यादव ने कहा बॉयज विल बी बॉयज, लड़के तो लड़के होंगे, रेप के संदर्भ में कहा, क्या एक्शन लिया आपने मुलायम सिंह यादव के खिलाफ? जब मायावती के खिलाफ मुलायम सिंह यादव ने कई सारे घटिया स्टेटमेंट्स किए थे, क्या एक्शन लिया था आपने मुलायम सिंह यादव के खिलाफ? जब अबू आजमी आपके पार्टी के लीडर ये सब, जब रामगोपाल वर्मा, अबू आजमी ये सब बेहुदा बातें कहते हैं, तब क्या एक्शन लेते हैं आपकी पार्टी उनके खिलाफ? मैं ये आपको इस संदर्भ में पूछ रहा हूं कि आज जो ममता बनर्जी ने अलाउ किया है अपने तापस पाल मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट को, वो कह रहे हैं कि आप पॉलिटिकल अपोनेंट्स का रेप करवाइए। तो मुझे लगता है ये ब्रॉडर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हर एक पार्टी की ये प्रॉब्लम है, आपकी पार्टी की भी। आप मुझे जरा बता सकेंगे हमारे व्यूअर्स को, आपने क्या किया इन सारे केसेस पे, और कुछ नहीं किया तो क्यों कुछ नहीं किया?
गोस्वामी जी,
क्या आपको वोट नहीं मिलते इन सब इश्यूज पर? क्या आपको वोट नहीं पड़ते आपके इश्यूज पर?
नहीं गोस्वामी जी, अब मेरी बात आपने पूछा, मेरा सुन लीजिए। देखिए, लोकतंत्र में जो इस तरह की बात हो रही है कि किसी की हत्या कर दो, कुल्हाड़ी से काट दो, जवान काट लो या रेप कर लो, इसकी हम तीव्र भर्त्सना करने का काम करते हैं। और हमारी बहन और बेटियों की इज्जत सुरक्षित रहे, उसके लिए अगर हमको अपनी जान देनी पड़े तो उसके लिए लोग तैयार हैं। कोई व्यक्ति अगर हमारी बहन और बेटियों के साथ
एक मिनट वन सेकंड, ऋतव्रता आपको कुछ पूछ रहे हैं सीपीएम पार्टी से, गो अहेड।
I have a simple question. What earlier the leaders of Samajwadi Party has said, that there is no difference what Tapas Pal has said. See, Tapas Pal yesterday categorically said that destroy homes, destroy families, shoot them and get them raped. So this is a sequel or no? You were telling that why Mamata Banerjee is not reacting. She is not reacting. Even what Advaita was telling about the Park Street incident, after that Park Street incident happened, Mamata Banerjee said it's a concocted story. The rape increased in Bengal. It's a continuous.
So my question to Ravidas is, Ravidas ji, ये बताइए कि एक मिनट, आपके लीडर ने कहा था boys will be boys. 1 minute. आपके लीडर ने कहा था कि हिंदी में क्या था, लड़के तो लड़के होंगे, एंड व्हाट वाज द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट? गलतियां हो जाती है। उन्होंने कहा रेप एक तरह की गलती है जो लड़के करते हैं। 1 मिनट, तो जो मुलायम सिंह यादव ने कहा और जो तापस पाल ने कहा, तृणमूल के मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट जो है, उसमें अंतर क्या है? आपको आज गुस्सा आ रहा है तापस पाल पर, तो आपको मुलायम सिंह यादव पर गुस्सा आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है?
मेरे बात सुनिए गोस्वामी जी, उन्होंने जो टीएमसी के सांसद हैं उन्होंने कहा,
मैं मुलायम सिंह यादव के बारे में पूछ रहा हूं, आपको गुस्सा आता है कि इस तरह की घटिया बात आपके लीडर्स करते हैं?
देखिए, हम लोग जो हैं, हमारी पार्टी जो बहन और बेटियां हैं उनकी,
मैं पूछ रहा हूं बहन और बेटी के बारे में, आपको नहीं पूछ रहा, आपको मैं पूछ रहा हूं आपके मुलायम सिंह यादव के बारे में।
पूरी बात सुनिए ना,
आप मुलायम सिंह यादव पे आपको पूछ रहा हूं, पूरी बात सुनने की क्या जरूरत है? मैं तो आपको पूछ रहा हूं, आपको क्या शर्म आती है कि आज जो कमेंट्स ये किए जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप जैसे लीडर्स, आप में हिम्मत नहीं है मुलायम सिंह यादव के खिलाफ कुछ बोलने का, जैसे कि संबित पात्रा में कोई हिम्मत नहीं है, चिल्लाने की हिम्मत तो इनमें है। मगर एक मिनट,
Don't try to bring me up for unnecessary
I'll tell you, the Goa PWD minister,
पहले बात हम लोग ये चाहते हैं,
because he has no answers, so I'm asking you the
But I have
question.
answers. Yes, tell me.
The Goa, is there a PWD minister called Sudhin Dhavalikar in Goa?
I am not going to defend the
जो
PWD
भी
minister because I
हमारी
feel
बहन और
unsolicited
बेटियों के साथ
advices as far as
दुराचार
morality is
करने का
concerned is
काम
not
करता है,
required from
उसको
politicians.
कड़े से
They are supposed to do their work
मिलना
on the
चाहिए।
ground, protect the woman. That is it.
Ravi,
They are not supposed to give unsolicited advice. So I am not going to defend the indefensible.
No, then throw him out from the party. I mean, here's a minister who says
You cannot throw a person out of the party because
and
unsolicited advice has been given.
I want to tell you what he says, and I want to
No,
keep
I have
you
read
on
that.
air.
That part I have heard.
I also want to keep you on air so that I can.
No,
I want viewers to see the expression on your face while I tell you what the minister
they're
says.
seeing it all.
The minister says this, right? The minister in Goa says this, and today it's exceptional. Today, the Goa chief minister jokes about rape, and the Goa PWD minister says that if young girls start going to pubs in short dresses, what will happen? I don't know what he means by that. And he says he's against women wearing nonsense things because it paves the way to many illegal activities. Wearing nonsense things by picking up short dresses and bikinis. There's a whole drug trade going on in Goa. Your minister can't talk about that, but he's going to talk about women wearing short dresses. This is what he said. I'm going to play the tape. Listen, look at that, Sambit Patra. Look at that.
जो आधे कपड़े से और आधे जो बीच पर लोग लेके जो लेडीज वहाँ आती है वो बंद होना चाहते हैं। एक महिला के पीछे 10-10, 15-15 आदमी घूमते हमने देखा है और ये सब कंट्रोल नहीं हो सकता है।
Right. So, Aryaman Sundaram, I want to get you back into this debate, and Malavika Rajkotia, please feel free to come in. Sambit Patra says, don't ask us these questions.
No.
I'm not going to answer questions. I'll talk about what others say.
Don't put words in your mouth. I clearly said, I am not going to defend the indefensible.
There is no defense.
No minister is supposed to give unnecessary, unsolicited, moralistic advices. He is supposed to work on the ground. Any minister from any political party. My stand is very clear. But I only dare you to the fact that don't compare the chief minister of Goa with Tapas Das, whatever his name is. Because he has not.
I have two comments.
He has not trivialized the issue of rape anywhere.
Well, he has joked about it. If that's not trivialization, I don't know what is.
I have gone to the speech. He has not joked.
One thing that I was trying to mention at that time. Derek O'Brien is not here. Trinamool Congress has boycotted.
Derek O'Brien wants to speak only on channels which will not ask him tough questions. He's been running away from this since yesterday. He gives select phone interviews to channels which will not ask him tough follow-up questions. It is his choice. Derek O'Brien does not want to speak to a real channel. He wants a platform, and that empty chair is actually Derek O'Brien's chair, which he likes to take usually, but he's running away from tonight.
I just want to answer him as he is not there. He said that within 24 hours, Tapas tendered an apology. Before even 24 hours is too small a time to tender an apology. Even before this apology was tendered, a district Trinamool leader, top leader, he said that political opponents, he said about BJP, not about us, that political opponents are to be sacrificed during the time of pujas.
This is not an apology.
No.
This is not, first of all, this is not an apology.
No, they are said. Derek O'Brien is telling
this is not an apology.
Say or no, this apology will never come, because it is not only the case of Tapas Pal. There is a legislator, Monirul Islam, in West Bengal Assembly publicly saying that I have killed 3 CPI-M people. I have just killed them. His name has disappeared from the chart sheet. A district Trinamool Congress president, Anubroto Mondal.
Wait. No, I want to, let's remain restricted to the Tapas Pal comment. I know you want to broad base it. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
Even BJP workers have been butchered. Even BJP workers have been butchered in West Bengal. We all know that. They've been raped, they've been butchered.
What has that got to do with Manohar Parrikar's comment?
No.
No, what does that have to do with the Goa minister's comment?
Why it doesn't have to?
Why won't you talk about that?
It has to do
1 minute, Sambit, blow the volume.
It has to do with Tapas Pal's statement. We should debate that aspect also. When one of the member of Parliament of West Bengal outrightly says that the opposition members should be raped, should be killed, and BJP members are killed, this is an issue of importance which Times Now should debate.
I'm asking you what action you will take against your own chief minister and your ministers. Your embarrassment is writ large on your face. Don't think that interrupting.
People are killed.
I am asking.
That is a larger issue. Exactly.
So
I'm standing with you also. No human being from any political party. No human being from any political party should be killed.
No, watch. I just want to.
CPI-M or BJP.
Just a minute. To that empty chair, which is actually the Trinamool Congress designated chair that they are running away from, I have many questions to ask, but I'll ask them later. My question simply has been to the BJP, which cannot give me an answer. What action will they take against the chief minister who jokes about rape? Aryaman Sundaram.
You start throwing books at me because I'm here.
Aryaman Sundaram, in my view, what's going on is the BJP and the Trinamool Congress are telling us that look here, we got a mandate.
Arnab, I cannot stand here and listen to all
we
these
have
things.
a mandate. You have a choice of walking out.
No,
we have a mandate.
But you cannot compare BJP with Trinamool Congress.
They are saying we have a
not at all.
Out of what stems this tremendous and unbridled arrogance,
to make a point,
Aryaman Sundaram, which says that you can have one member of parliament threatening rape, and you can have a chief minister joking about rape, and we won't take any action. What does that arrogance stem from, if not the feeling that the mandate is there to back them up? Aryaman Sundaram, let's go down to basics. For me, that's the real issue here. How do you look at it?
Firstly, that arrogance comes from the fact that the election is just over and they don't have to face another election for 5 years.
Precisely.
That is number one. Number two, it is an unfortunate reflection on what the value systems of politicians has become. Politicians find it very, very easy to make stirring, rousing speeches, getting people to get up and unify in a voice together, and violence is one of the best ways to get people, like religious fervor or violence. These are all issues, hatred. These are all ways to, in one way, for a short time, unification of people. And they get their pleasure out of the fact that you have a whole host of people there who, unfortunately, I cannot call right-thinking people, who applaud this and who all react and give them the reaction that they want. The saddest fact which, Arnab, we have to face is this man was able to make statements the way he did, and there was a crowd which listened to him and did not stone him. And that is the saddest fact.
Well said.
And that is, I think, is what gives them the confidence to say what they do.
Precisely, I cannot agree with you
Let's
more.
not run away from our own responsibilities as citizens.
Arnab,
I completely agree with you, and I want to throw this at Malavika that it's not. One second, Ranjana also joining us. Malavika, Sanjay, I see your hand go up. Malavika, yes. You heard the political reactions. What would you say to them?
I want to make a point. What I want to say to supplement what Aryama said, I also want to say that they are all united in misogyny. And that is the new religion which is emerging as a backlash to any movements towards empowerment of women. And that is the frightening thing, which includes male politicians, spokespersons.
You don't want to let anyone else speak. Sambit, 1 minute. Sambit, are you the anchor of the program?
No.
Do you have pretensions about being the anchor of the program? If you're not, you cannot interrupt her and will. Let her make a comment.
Chief Minister, why unnecessarily are you bringing the Goa Chief Minister into the discussion?
Will you decide?
previous,
No, what,
the previous,
And
what,
the
what,
Goa,
what,
sorry,
what,
one
no, no,
minute,
what,
Goa Chief
Sambit,
Minister
just hold it a minute.
Mamata Banerjee
Hold it a
are
minute.
all on the
Hold it a
same
minute.
road.
Sambit, you have to
no
learn
one
to
says
stop.
that the Goa Chief Minister
The
is
art
gone
of
anywhere.
good discourse. You
But why
have
are
to
we?
learn to stop. And I'll tell you one thing very clearly.
No.
I don't think you should display such arrogance on my television
I'm
show.
not at all arrogant.
And I'm telling you, don't
with all my
display this level of
humility,
arrogance
with
on
all
the
my
program.
humility,
Do
I
not
stand by my Chief Minister. With all my humility,
So you
I
have-
stand by
so
my
what
Chief
you
Minister,
know,
who
I'm
I
sure-
believe
I'm-
may have
The
put
Goa
on
Chief
analogies,
Minister
but
is the same in fascism and misogyny as Mamata Banerjee.
do not compare. My only take is
Sambit,
Arnab,
one
just the
minute.
last word. And
Sambit, you have to
those.
stop. You have to stop. No,
Just
I will
don't
not let you have a
don't
last
compare-
word
don't
running over the
compare
show.
Don't compare Bengal with Goa, please. Let's
No,
not
no,
your show.
I want to just now. You will not interrupt.
They
Sambit,
both,
if you
I want to
now
say, they are
interrupt
both
your-
in the
Mr.
same
Parikar.
place.
Mr.
as far
Parikar,
as
if you're
women are
watching the
concerned.
program tonight,
They're both
one second.
misogynist.
Mr. Parikar, if you're watching the program tonight, please see that Sambit Patra has done his utmost to show his loyalty
Not
to you,
at all.
even if he is
Loyalty
wrong.
to truth. Remember,
but
Arnab.
this is a news
Arnab,
program, not an opportunity
please don't misguide
to
the
display
people
your
of the
political
nation.
loyalties to
Loyalty
leaders.
to truth.
Malavika
Loyalty to
Rajkotia
truth.
and Sambit, I told you will now speak when I let you. Malavika.
No, all I wanted to say was that the Goa Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, are both in the same place, on the same road. Just because one has said the same thing in a lighter version doesn't make it any less serious. And you're right about this, again, this desperate opportunism to show loyalty at the most ghastly forums. I mean, he shouldn't be doing this.
Sambit, now I told you. No, Sambit, you can't do this. Sambit, you will not. No, Sambit.
People are being
Sambit,
killed in Bengal.
Sambit,
for
don't
God's
do this.
sake.
Sambit,
Not trivialize this
Sambit,
issue where people
Sambit,
are being
this is
killed.
1 minute. Please, I'm requesting you now. And I'm requesting
No,
you.
no, this
I
is
am
very
request.
essential.
No, no.
I buy your request.
This is bad
Continue.
manners.
I buy
Don't do
your
this.
request.
Do not do this now, Sambit. I'm requesting you. People across the country are watching. And remember this. Please remember and do not interrupt me before I complete my sentence.
are dying in Bengal.
The
You're
question,
comparing
yes,
Bengal with
and
Goa.
your minister is trying to say that women are responsible for the crimes against them. And
No one
your
is
chief
protecting
minister
him. No one is
making
defending
a joke
him.
of rape.
No one is
I think
defending
that
that
is as
minister.
ridiculous.
No one is
I
defending
think
that
as
minister.
ridiculous
But
as
don't
Mamata Banerjee
compare,
not acting.
Don't compare Bengal with Goa. That is all. You can continue.
It's my choice. Now, please. Sanjay Jha wanted to come
We are
in at that
talking in
point.
the
Sanjay.
context of women's
Ranjana
rights.
Kumari, welcome to the
You're
debate.
both just
The
as
BJP is
bad.
determined not to let anyone speak today. They obviously feel that they have won an election, so nobody else has a right to say anything. So, Sanjay Jha is coming in. Sanjay.
Arnab, I just want to make one short point. We have all seen the ghastly, gruesome rape that happened in Badayon in Uttar Pradesh. You also have an example here of India's highest political executive authority, the cabinet, allowing somebody controversial and accused and alleged, let's use the word alleged rape, shall we say, accused in Rajasthan, who continues to be in the cabinet. The BJP defends it. Now, can you imagine the kind of signals that you're sending all over the country? Perhaps in a great number of ways, unwittingly, in a
I told you, let him
it's encouraging number
absurd.
of political
Sambit, you must-
Please, no,
into
Sanjay Jha did not
taking
preach me.
their
On
own little
Madrina
plunge
and Madrina
into
and whole lot of other
anti-women
people.
and more
From
sexual
Tandoor to
violence
Rajasthan,
comments.
there are examples.
You can't
And
ignore that.
3,
Sanjay Jha
4
preaches-
and
That's the
5, you have
reality.
made your point.
No,
Now stop,
but
please.
Sanjay Jha preaching me.
Let him.
Sanjay,
Let
please,
him.
just
Let
be a
him.
bystander.
Let him, please. Yes. Complete your point quickly, Sanjay. It's clear here to me that political parties only want to score points.
So my basic point is...
I'm going to throw the lines open. Okay, Sanjay, complete.
No. My basic point is... My basic point is that at this point of time, there are far too many instances that should be causing great concern. Rape is becoming an extremely, it's reaching alarming proportions, and political parties, including mine, will have to be very sensitive about that. But you have a BJP government at the top, and by keeping somebody in their cabinet and dismissing any allegation against him as an attempt to derail a certain political personality, is I
Sambit,
think
please
only
stop.
aggravating.
No, Sambit,
and
please stop.
accentuating
The comment is this. I want to go to
a very poor
Advaita. Just
impression
because others don't
of a
interrupt
very
into the debate, they can't be kept out.
hostile
My question
attitude
is
in
here.
this country is damaging the entire political
No,
class.
this is simply about violence and perverted violence. I'll tell you, there is something sick about this man, Tapas, because there's another comment. This is not about rape, which is new tape. again. Is that the real fear?
Yes, Arnav, I think the political men in the country are not only responsible of crime that they are committing in terms of, making these statements with criminal intent. They are using rape as a tool of political vendetta. They are trying to, they're not only that they are insulting, but they are taking our society towards a decadent culture where rape becomes unacceptable. And also, when you look at some of the statements, they are trying to, in some sense, put their own guilt, because they are the ones who are inflicting crime on women, that they are trying to tell the women to do what and not to do what. I mean, like in the sense that wear this dress, do this, do that, because they know that they are responsible for creating a culture where there is total acceptability for rape. You can use rape as political vendetta, you can use rape as communal vendetta, whatever. So it has to be women's body which needs to be targeted, attacked, abused, brutalized by these people. This is the kind of culture political men are creating in this country.
And my question is simply this, that if Tapas Pal enters Parliament on Monday, will you feel disgraced? Opening up the phone lines, and our first caller is Krishna Kumar from Ahmedabad. Yes, Mr. Krishna Kumar.
Yeah, good evening, Arnab. My simple point is that I just want to remind something. Few days back in the Parliament, Modi had said that we should not be analyzing race and we should be sensitive toward this subject. And I'm surprised that after making such a huge statement, the BJP leader had the audacity to make such an irresponsible statement. Now, as far as the TMC
Mr. Krishna Kumar,
leader is concerned, it is no surprise because it is basically a party of gundas. And such mentality exists and will exist in future also. So there is no hope from TMC. But at least from BJP, this was not expected, considering that Mr. Parikar is an IIT and is very well educated. And it is very unfortunate that even as a BJP supporter, I feel very, sad about it that this statement has come from them.
Well,
now the problem is that this kind of
people are actually watching the Trinamool very closely, but people are watching the BJP also very closely. What Narendra Modi had said was, don't analyze rape. Now, what Manohar Parrikar has done is worse than that. He's used some kind of a ridiculous, juvenile, perverted anecdote to joke around in a public forum. Manohar Parrikar should get a rap on the knuckles from the Prime Minister, and we need to know what action the Prime Minister has taken on it. Another caller from Stockholm, and I'm glad, at least after hearing our viewer tonight, you are not shouting anymore, you are listening. Kuldeep Mishra from Stockholm. Kuldeep Mishra from Stockholm. I want to listen to the viewer right now. Kuldeep Mishra from Stockholm. Mr. Mishra, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Arnav. How are you? Hello. Yes.
Very well, sir. Thank you for watching in Stockholm.
And I'm very disappointed to see that why Mamata Banerjee and whole TMC members are supporting this guy, Mr. Paul, who is not deserved to be a MP at all. And I appeal Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, because he is from Bengal, he was representing Bengal constituency for long years, he should not keep quiet. He should take his own power and terminate this man immediately, and he should not be allowed to join the MP Lok Sabha session from Monday onwards. Because such kind of arrogance, not only displayed by Mr. Paul, it has been the same fashion shown by Mr. Nigam and Mr. Jaiswal in the past. And Congress party did not do anything. They were just supporting them and all. So
they
it
didn't
has
do
become
anything.
some kind
Absolutely.
of fashion. And
they didn't do anything.
To show arrogance and proud in this way. So they should be taken immediately.
And Mr. Mishra, first of all, I'm very happy you're watching there in Stockholm. A point here simply is the Congress party is led by a woman. The Trinamool Congress is led by a woman. The BJP's Narendra Modi says, don't analyze rape, and yet Manohar Parrikar says what he does. And all political parties say we should have an all-party meeting. Tomorrow, Aryaman Sundaram, they will say that, let us have a constitution amendment to make sure that we speak with some sobriety. Tomorrow, political parties might even say, let's have a joint session of parliament to discuss whether we need to act on Tapas Pal. My very basic question is, tell me, Mr. Sundaram, what will be the consequence of Tapas Pal being allowed to enter parliament in the next session? If he continues as a member of parliament, what will be the symbolism of that? For you as a citizen, not just as a Supreme Court lawyer or activist.
For me as a citizen of India, I can only feel ashamed. I'll be shamefaced that I have actually a legislator who is going to decide the laws of my country and will decide so many important things, that this is a man who I have got to follow in what he decides in Parliament. Unfortunately, the way our law stands, he cannot be prevented from going into Parliament. The only thing which can prevent him going into Parliament is his party.
The Speaker can take action.
Because
Sumitra Mahajan can take
legally
action.
Legally, Arnab, there will be a problem there.
No, Mr. Sundaram.
Legally, because
Mr. Sundaram,
unless there's a breach of the privilege of the House itself.
No, there
I'd
are
like
other
to hear
panelists who
that,
feel action
because I've been
can be
looking
taken
at
and
this.
It can't be left to Mamta Banerjee.
I'd be glad to see that, because I've been looking into it. Arnab, may I just say this? I'll be glad if I can hear that, because I've been looking into this and I felt that unless he had done something in the House itself or something connected with the House, the question of the Speaker taking action against him, even if he has committed a crime, you know, as per the law, unless he is convicted of the crime, he still has a right to be a parliamentarian. All I can say is, as a citizen, as a person, I can only feel ashamed. And unfortunately, I think every single person who voted for him should feel equally ashamed.
That observation of yours, even if it is sound, I hope you don't mind my saying it, Mr. Sundaram, makes me feel extremely disenfranchised and disillusioned. Because I would have expected that in our entire system, you know, you can pick up criminal intimidation 503, you can pick up promoting enmity between different groups.
I believe you can file a criminal case against him. Arnab, you're right. I do believe a criminal case can be filed against him.
No, so a criminal case can be filed against him where? Does it have to be filed in the place in Nadia or wherever it happened? Or can it be filed anywhere in the country?
Well, if he said it and it was being broadcast, and at the time he said it, it was being live broadcast, then anywhere where that broadcast was heard will be a place where an incitement took place.
No, because Mamta Banerjee now says, one second, she says CPM leaders also say a lot of things, they did not protest. This happened a month ago, you should have raised this then, and action could have been taken.
Look, Arnab, every single party, we've had the Samajwadi Party leader saying something absolutely atrocious, something shocking. We've had BJP leaders saying things shocking. We've had congressmen saying things shocking. We have every politician saying these shocking things. And the sad fact is, I share your concern that we as citizens are subject to this, because these are the people who are meant to be ruling this country.
No, but I don't accept.
And every party is involved.
I don't reconcile myself to this sense of helplessness.
Half a second.
Yes,
it is
Ranjana.
not helplessness. File a criminal case. File a criminal case against him.
Mr. Sundaram, it is responsibility of the state to file a case against the member of parliament who's made such a statement.
Of course.
And secondly,
when I said file a case, I mean the state. You're right.
Of the government.
State will not act.
Yeah. So
Madam, there are innumerable cases in Bengal, innumerable instances. See, our party has lost 172 of our cadres in the last 3 years. What is going on? Mamata Banerjee is telling, will I kill him? Earlier instances are there.
This is not a Bengal specific issue anymore, Rita Prato. One second. This is not, with respect, this is not a Bengal specific issue anymore. This is a national issue.
Yes.
A member of the Indian Parliament says something which violates half the Indian population and more.
CPI-M will move a privilege motion against him in the Parliament as soon as the Parliament is in session. In Bengal, what is happening? So a complete reign of terror is continuing, and in connivance with the state administration, everybody is guarded. I just mentioned that name of that fellow, Manirul Islam, publicly telling I have killed 3 people, and his name is dropped from the charge sheet. And that is the true state of affairs in Bengal. It's a complete mayhem.
And if Mamata Banerjee feels, if Mamata Banerjee has become so arrogant that she thinks today she can throw the mandate and say that she will not act against a member of parliament, then I'm asking, Mamata Banerjee, please ask yourself, has your party lost it? Your party leaders say, go kill people, shoot them, kill 2 to 4 people, attack the CPI-M with axes, kill them with axes, and then come back and prove yourself to me, and I will see who dares to arrest you. This is a show of goons, Mamata Banerjee. Now, unless you want to, like we often say, Pakistan should sometimes declare itself a terrorist state if it wants to carry out these terrorist acts. Then West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee can declare itself to be some kind of a renegade goon state run by a bunch of goons. It is the choice they have, but under the Indian constitution, they cannot be allowed. Next caller tonight from Bengaluru is Mukti. Mukti, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Arnab.
Good evening. Go ahead, Mukti. I can hear you.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say to BJP spokesperson and their chief minister from Goa, shame on you as a party. This is so surprising. I had a great expectation from the BJP that this is what we had voted for you. The women of this country are treated like this each and every day. How long we'll discuss these issues sitting in the studio? Nothing is changing. Their mindset is not, this is BJP, yesterday it was Congress. So, they are different side of the same coin. What it seems to me is that we need to unite ourselves and we need to, that nota, none of the above, that should be mandatory so that we should have, we the public, we do not have a power with us. For 5 years, we have to keep quiet. That is the tragedy of the democracy today. So we need to strengthen none of the above so that any political party, if he is doing anything, stringent laws should be there. They should be put there, whoever it may be, CM, PM or whatever it may be. So I am totally disgusted listening all the time discussion in that studio and nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. I'm really sorry for this saying all these things. But I'm really surprised. We need to, they won't change, Arnab. They won't change. Unless and until we do not have a stringent law against them, simply they will apologize and they will escape.
But Mr. Mukti, can I just say one thing? I remember, and I'm very glad that you're calling tonight. I remember that in 2010, nobody in September 2010 or October would have thought that A. Raja would have gone to jail or that Suresh Kalmadi would have gone to jail, and yet they did. So I do believe, Mr. Mukti, my humble submission to you is I do believe that the force of public opinion is enough sometimes to make politicians wake from their slumber. And this is the case here because Advaita, I'm just going to close by asking you and Malavika to come in. My first question to Malavika and then to you. I'm repeating myself here. Malavika, can the case of Tapas Pal be made a test case? Why can't we snatch away that right from a partisan group like the Trinamool Congress, which is so prejudiced that it will not act against it? We wouldn't let partisan and prejudiced juries decide legal cases, so why should Mamata Banerjee decide what happens to Tapas Pal when he is a member of our parliament? And it's not a Trinamool Congress parliament.
No, I agree. There should be criminal case filed against him, and anybody can do it. Anybody can file a complaint. Anybody can push for it. Any state should be taking suo moto notice in any case, but be that as it may, as you say, anybody else can as well. And it is a criminal offence what he has suggested, to incite violence, particularly violence against women, and it should be a test case. It's important.
Absolutely, and our viewers are sounding so concerned, and some of them are actually sounding helpless today. I can sense the anger, but I'm also seeing the reason just bounce off political parties, almost as if they wouldn't react. Advaita, long-term consequences of seeing Tapas Pal enter Parliament on Monday. If he does.
I think a part of that helplessness is something I feel as well, because I think none of the political parties can claim any higher moral ground on this
anymore. Yeah.
And the hypocrisy is so clear to the ordinary person that they are all in it in one way or the other. Even if you look at Mr. Manohar Parrikar, who's a great chief minister, what he does with that statement is really facilitate an air of permissiveness, and that is the least. That is the least of what he does. That is the least of what he does.
But the chief minister stand because
let Advaita speak something.
I got Advaita's point.
You can't say you got a point. I didn't get a point. The viewers want to hear.
All the points.
Sambit Patra, do not try to do this kind of unofficial censorship of the program.
Well, I think this is
This is
the environment in which public discourse exists when it comes to women and when it comes to misogyny. But the bottom line is that
the Tarun Tejpals are everywhere and we have to have strict hands to deal with them.
May I just say one thing?
I want to engage with you on that. But kindly do not speak rubbish on the news,
this is
because
not rubbish.
as far as 1 minute, let me speak now. You've spoken. As far as the Tarun Tejpal case was concerned, no channel went harder on it than Times Now, and you have absolutely no right. You have absolutely no right to try and use that as some balancing act. Don't do that. You are exposing yourself. Advaita, please.
TMC. Don't talk of the BJP.
Advaita.
I mean, spokespersons may have to defend the indefensible and toe their party line, but the public owes no such loyalty to any of them. And that's something that they should understand very clearly. It's a common sense argument. It's nothing more than that.
Well, I think you'll be judged by what you do and also be judged by what you say. Now, Mamata Banerjee does not reserve the right to decide what happens to Tapas Pal. If the people do, and if the parliament does, then we wait for one more day to see who acts. Thank you for joining me on debate number 1 on the Newshour tonight.